Healthier, better educated women and girls have healthier, better educated families, not least because women tend to invest more of their incomes in their children. Equipping women with skills and helping connect people to opportunities will raise living standards and break the cycle of poverty, while spurring broader economic development. As technology is driving transformation in the world, we must equip the workforce with relevant education and skills so that everyone has the opportunity to succeed. In fact, it is estimated that 230 million jobs in Africa will require digital skills by 2030. Closing the gender-digital divide will be critical, as women in many countries are underrepresented in access to digital technologies. While the task at hand seems daunting, I'm optimistic because we've seen progress across the continent, even in the face of multiple adversities. With resource, its people. I'm looking forward to the summit where we'll agree on concrete actions that will lay the groundwork for Africa's vibrant youth, women, and girls to achieve their full potential.
Victoria, I share your view, your sense of concern and urgency, but also optimism. But we'll only be able to harness the demographic dividend if youth are equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to realize their full potential. In West and Central Africa, countries face huge challenges for human capital accumulation. This region has the lowest human capital index rating among the World Bank 7 regions. Education systems are in crisis, with an 80% of children under 10 unable to reach a simple text, what we call learning poverty. Conflict setting affects service delivery in many of our countries. The region hosts 7.3 million of refugees and 23 million internally displaced people. But the region also has one of the largest return on education. Our countries are innovating and getting results. For example, in Nigeria, the Better Education Service Delivery for All program is partnering, which forms the largest poverty, increase girls' secondary education enrollment, and strengthen higher education system to produce more employable graduates. But we will not be able to deliver change without building political momentum in the region. For this reason, this summit will be vital for ensuring that countries accelerate investment in people and ensure a better future for all. Let's invest in the future generation today to transform Africa.
With that, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the summit.
That was interesting. Thank you very much. That was Ms. Victoria Kwakwa, World Bank Vice President, East and Southern Africa. And you also heard Mr. Osmani Diagana, World Bank Vice President, Central and West Africa. So before I welcome the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Mgulu Nchemba, let's have a little bit of entertainment. We look a little bit sad. So, and Mpoto is very good in entertaining. Karibu sana Mrisho Mpoto with his theater group. Karibuni sana.
Afrika na watoto wake, vijana na wanawake. Afrika na watoto wake, vijana na wanawake.
Pesha mafunzo na ujuzi ili kuharakisha ukuaji wa uchumi wa Afrika.
Afrika na watoto wake, vijana na wanawake. Afrika na watoto wake, vijana na wanawake. Tanzania, 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 Mungu ibariki Tanzania. Asante benki ya, asante wa Tanzania, asante Tanzania, 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 kuhusu umuhimu wa kuwekeza katika rasilimali watu, hasa watu ya dunia nzima,
kuimarisha uhimilivu wa nchi za Afrika katika kukabiliana na majanga. Karibuni,
karibuni
marais wa nchi za Afrika.
Benki ya dunia kutukutanisha wana Afrika. Asante Rais Samia kwa kutuheshimisha wa Tanzania.
Benki ya dunia
kwa kutukutanisha wana Afrika wa Tanzania. Tanzania yasonga mbele, juzi jana na kesho.
Karibuni
juzi jana juni muone visiwa vya marashi ya karafuu Zanzibar. Yasonga mbele, juzi jana na kesho. Juni kwenye ardhi ya amani na utulivu Tanzania.
Tanzania yasonga mbele,
juzi jana na kesho. Juzi jana na kesho. Juzi jana na kesho. Juzi jana na kesho.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I did promise they won't disappoint, and I'm sure they didn't. So now, I'd like to welcome Honorable Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, Minister of Finance and Planning, to welcome the President of the United Republic of Tanzania.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency, Dr. Shein, the former President of Zanzibar and the former Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Stegomena Taxi, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Zanzibar, my fellow ministers here present, both from mainland and Zanzibar, my brother Nathan Belete, the World Bank Group Country Director for Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, Chairman of the Budget Committee, I've seen when it comes to Dar es Salaam, representatives from heads of diplomatic mission and international organizations, representatives, comrades from the security organs, representatives from civil societies, and all other members of press, ladies and gentlemen, nawasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. At the outset, I would like, not only here in Tanzania, but Africa and the world at all, allow me also to express my sincere appreciation to the World Bank for their innovative ideas convening the Africa Heads of State Summit, Human Capital Summit that will alleviate deliberations on human capital agenda from the technical political level. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, human capital develop people, growing demographic pressure, youth population with limited job opportunities, skill and labor market mismatch, and others. The summit is expected to provide opportunities to the heads of state to discuss and share their experiences, priority, and essential resources that the government has received from the World Bank. A good share that has been allocated is provided to good health and sanitation services, inclusive and quality education, and enhancing youth skills for opportunity and productivity. Through this summit, I believe the World Bank will scale up the support to African countries and attract more development partners to support African states' progress in support for human capital development. Your Excellence, under your leadership, the government has been able to increase investment in health, education. Tanzanian children and youth will always treasure the legacy of prioritizing investment in the people you have done. And finally, let me take this opportunity to welcome you, Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, to officially launch the 2023
May we be seated, please. Dr. Ali Mohamed Shein, the former Vice President and the President of Zanzibar, honorable ministers here present from both parties of the Union, permanent secretaries, the World Bank Country Director, Dr. Nathan Balete, and the members of this World Bank from the headquarters, Excellencies, heads of diplomatic mission and international organizations, representatives from the private sector in Tanzania, representatives from the civil society, government officials, that Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. And it doesn't have its English translation. It's just like that. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to this auspicious occasion to officially launch the 2023 African Heads of State Human Capital Summit. European learning, skills, and productivity of youth. The theme will provide a unique platform, or the summit will provide a unique platform for heads of state to deliberate and share best practices on the role of human capital in driving economic growth and development. Certainly, Africa's human capital endowment is key to the future success, including its potential for economic growth, and indeed, investment in human capital is essential in ensuring people's well-being, enhanced productivity, inclusive economic growth, poverty reduction, and promotion of crisis preparedness and management. And so, the achievement of the Global Sustainable Development Goals cannot be separated from development of human capital. The polycrisis of food and fuel price rise, conflicts, droughts and floods, and COVID-19 have caused huge losses and reduced momentum in the progress made in improving human development outcomes and in building human capital worldwide. Disruptions in essential services have had severe consequences for under 5 and maternal mortality and worsened many people's exposure to diseases. The United Nations has estimated that there would be around, or there was around, 130 million more malnourished children in 2020, and it is further estimated that learning poverty will rise by 10% points to more than 60% in developing countries worldwide, and from 83% to more than 90% in the poorest countries if steps will not be taken now. So these are the staggering statistics that call for urgent holistic and collective interventions. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on Human Capital Index among all regions of the world, amplified by the lowest scores of many sub-Saharan African countries, and it is clear that the pandemic, compounded by conflicts, have caused unprecedented disruptions, revealing gaps in our systems and infrastructure that need to be addressed urgently. While our countries appreciate population asset resulting from improved maternal and child health services across the continent, we are constrained with fiscal challenges for children's development and jobs for our youth, following a huge demographic pressure. United Nations related to human capital development, in particular education, health, and social protection. With the exception of North Africa, target indicators for other African countries on ensuring quality education stands below the global average levels. Maternal mortality ratios are still high. Availability and sustainability of management of water and sanitation remains a challenge. Progress towards gender inclusivity is slow, and the enforcement of legal frameworks to protect women and girls against discrimination, domestic violence and child marriage, and female genital mutilation remains weak. In overall, progress made by Africa under respective SDGs is unsatisfactory and indicates the risk of not being able to attain the goals by the target year 2030. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, flashing back to our Agenda 2063, Africa has centered human capital to building the necessary skills. African Union has targeted to increase the percentage of African children enrolled in pre-primary education to at least 70%. Also prioritizing investments in higher education, technical and vocational training programs. The moment is now for us to hasten the pace to ensure we realize these goals. Here to affirm implementation and the SDGs. We are going to give detailed information during the summit in July. But all I have to say is in Tanzania, human capital development has been our priority goals in all our development plans. So we are not as bad as the situation is explained in various reports. We have done a tremendous job, and we are continuing so smoothly and gently. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are called upon to take immediate measures to address the potential population challenges by immensely investing in our people's health, including water and sanitation, and quality education with proper and necessary skills for human capital development. Our policies should dwell around improving the quality and ability of our people with a special focus on human capital development. African leaders don't want to say should begin to think, but should continue to implement should continue to investing in African people, focusing on youth and women. And it is in this connection or context that I'm pleased to announce that the 2023 Human Capital Heads of State Summit, jointly hosted by the Government of the United Republic of Tanzania and the World Bank, will be held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, from 25th to 26th July this year, 2023, and right here at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center. The journey to the summit is an important event. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I thank you for your participation in this official launch of the summit and encourage all of you to participate in the upcoming Human Capital Summit. You are cordially welcome to the United Republic of Tanzania.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now it's the time that everybody was waiting for. So, can you all sit down, please? The rest of our guests, can you kindly sit down?